Hi guys, my name is Christina and welcome to my channel. And in today's video, I have dry lips. Much better. Hi guys, my name is Christina and in today's video I'm gonna talk to you about flaw I have in my comic creation process and more specifically the problem that happens when I go from script to lines. So let's talk about it. So I thought it can be helpful for you to listen to my problems. Wait. I figured that me sharing this problem that I have can be very helpful for you. So, and besides, I was literally struggling with it for the past 3 to 4 days and I just solved it for this particular scene, but this problem actually reoccurs again and again. I also recorded my struggles with a screen recording. So I'm gonna be putting it also on the screen and showing you what is happening. So I don't know if you guys can tell or not, but I'm actually very sleepy. You probably will be able to tell that something is off in today's video, but we're rolling with this. It's really late. That's fine. Let's talk about my problems. I already can tell that I'll have to make so many cuts. Like, why this hair is out of place? The problem that I have is, I think maybe it is the problem because I come from novel writing background. So for me, when I was creating stories, for me the most natural medium for creating stories was writing them, not really comics. Maybe I've been doing comics here and there, but I really wrote full 2 books aside from writing other things. And one of the books that I wrote actually got published, so we went through whole process of like revisions and everything, so putting it all together so it looks like a professional thing. So I have this disconnect, I guess, because in the end the story that I end up creating now is a comic. However, my storytelling logical skills are coming from me writing a book, and book and a comic are 2 different mediums. They're close in some regard, but they're ultimately very different. That's where the problem happens for me. I might know a lot about visual storytelling because obviously I consume a lot of movies, a lot of cartoons, I read other comics, I work in movie industry. Visual storytelling is nothing new. However, when I write without having visual storytelling in mind, if it makes sense. So when I script my chapters, when I script my scenes, I usually just go dialogue kind of style, and actually have a video plugging my videos in my other videos. I have a video when I'm talking you through my whole comic creation process and yeah, just telling you what I'm doing, breaking it down. So I'm gonna link it up here. Basically, I'm creating this dialogue thing. I'm basically putting lines, who is saying what. I'm just putting rough notes of what emotion somebody's showing. Is it like a weird silence? Is something happening in the background? The script that I'm writing for my comic is in nature very close to the script that you would write for a movie or TV series. And I know it because I have a friend who is writer and film director. He actually taught me a lot how to write screenplay and all of that, and this is kind of when I picked it up from. And I would assume that's how you would want to do that, right? Because you're transitioning words into visual mediums, so it makes sense to write it as a script and then create visual medium out of it, add visuals. However, comic is not a movie, and sometimes I'm running into problems. For example, I would write a dialogue that would be, I think, pretty solid. It would have the beginning, the ending, it would have its own dynamic, it would have its own development. And then when I start to draw it, I'll be like, well, great, I have dialogue, and now I just have to prepare panels that will help me navigate the reader through this dialogue scene. However, when I start drawing, it's like almost as I'm writing the scene again. I started writing it with the same kind of base ideas that I have. This is what I want to happen. This is what I want to be communicated. This is kind of the ebb and flow of stress or emphasis. This is where I want the reader to feel nervous. This is where I want to emphasize something, or this is where I want to underline something really, really hard. What happens when I start drawing it, certain scenes that are very, very clearly dialogues. I had this scene in chapter 2 that's literally just dialogue and visuals are around to make you not super bored and actually pay attention to dialogue. But some scenes when I start drawing them, it's almost like I have this weird urge to go off script. I don't even know how to explain it. I think I'm normally very logical on this channel and try to break everything down very structural, but this is the moment when I get confused myself and I'm not sure how to explain it. But basically, I have script ready, I have dialogue, it's working. When I start drawing, I have this weird feeling that it doesn't work, even though it works on dialogue and in words. But when you put it on drawing, it doesn't. And I'm not sure how to explain it. It's almost like I have this feeling in my mind that's saying, say it differently, show it differently, draw it. Don't make the dialogue line that makes a reader think of a past event. Just show a visual that make a reader think about past event, and make dialogue absolutely ignore everything. So it's almost like saying cut a lot of parts out of dialogue and just draw visuals. Or sometimes it's saying, you know what, add some dialogue here or add some random. It's like it almost, when I start drawing, it asks me to do it differently too. Editing me real quick. I'm actually now rewatching the footage and I'm realizing what the problem is. I can see definitely myself struggling here. I'm describing what's happening, like what I feel, what not working. But as I'm watching this, I'm realizing what's wrong, I think. So it looks like when I'm writing the dialogue, I'm communicating what I'm trying to say for the scene in a dialogue form. And for example, if I wanna communicate some nuance information, I'm putting those hints in dialogue. But as I'm starting to draw, I'm realizing that the function of drawing provides me so many opportunities for putting all this information in the context, putting all this information in visual storytelling instead of just, telling it with the words. For example, if I want something to sound more mysterious, or if I want the reader to get a hint that there is more information here, or this might mean something else, then instead of putting this in the dialogue and the way dialogue flows, I can actually just put it into the drawing and shorten the dialogue quite a lot, and reduce some back and forths, and actually literally basically translate like 70 or 60% of the dialogue in the drawing part, make it more contextual than more textual. So I hope it makes sense, because now I'm realizing as I'm watching this what is actually happening, because I prefer to put stuff in context as much as possible. If I have a silent page, it's perfect, because it means that I'm showing, not telling, and to me that's what showing, not telling means, is that you literally are not saying things. It's like a reader gathers this information from observing the narration, either observing the imagery or what is happening, and you don't need to actually say it for your reader to get it. And I think it's the smarter way to tell the story. So I think that's what's happening. I will write it, and then as I start drawing it, I will realize, oh, now I have so much opportunity to actually say it in context and make it more rich and more complicated and also easier to flow. And I didn't realize I had it in words and dialogue, because when I do words and dialogue, I don't have visuals really. I actually just do dialogue. Yeah, I think that's what the problem is. Oh my gosh. I'm actually just realizing it as I'm rewatching myself struggling with all of that. Yeah, whoa, I just sold my whole video at the 5 minutes mark. Yeah, I hope it's helpful for you guys. I'm actually literally gonna put this part in the video, and I'm not sure if the rest of the video is even necessary, but maybe I'll keep something and show you how exactly am I struggling, because I think that's the problem. It's hard to do just dialogue first, and then when you do drawing, it gives you so much more opportunity to do stuff and to communicate things without dialogue at all. So I just solved my problem. It's happening live. I mean, not live, but you see, I'm recording the moment when it's happening. But yeah, I'm just gonna roll whatever I think it's useful, or I'm just gonna roll the whole video, and maybe you can, see how I'm struggling. It's actually pretty entertaining. But yeah, my intervention is over. Thank you so much, guys. And I started struggling because I had this. Actually, no, it's not over. It's me. I returned a little bit after thinking about this video and what I'm gonna do with this, and I watched the rest of it, and I realized I'm gonna keep it in and let you guys watch it through, just because I realized it might be helpful to just see how I personally am struggling and how I'm trying to explain what is happening. I thought I'm just gonna leave the whole video in and let you guys watch it. If you don't want to watch it, you can cut out from here, but I just thought it can be helpful to have it on a record, because, I don't know, to just highlight the fact that it's okay to struggle, and it's okay to know that something is wrong but not knowing exactly what it is. And now that you know that I know what it is, and you know too, you can kind of see how this looks of me figuring it out, I guess. So I decided to give it all in, and I will be throwing here and there some b-roll of me actually drawing this scene that I was talking about, and I will just show how I'm outlining it, just some screen recording. I will throw it out there if you want some interesting visuals to look at. Yeah, I just wanted to pop in and say that I'm gonna keep the rest of the video. So that's it. Intermission is over. For real now, I promise. this perfect plan that I was working for some time. But then when I go to visual part, I have this feeling that it's wrong. And I'm not saying it's wrong in a sense that it's gonna be bad. I think if I just force myself and put it on the page and just draw around it, it will be just fine. But I know it's not the right way. And this is the weird thing that I start feeling with creating my comic. I figure out that I'm more like a discovery writer, even though I like having a structure. Sometimes as I'm telling the story, I'm referring to the writing part, as I'm telling the story, I realize, no, you shouldn't be talking about this situation. You should actually derail and talk about this situation instead, or this, we don't care if this happens or not, but we really care about this thing if it happens and how it plays out. So it's like, it showed me weird detours how to get to my end point. I realized this in my writing, but in my drawing, it's almost more extreme. So where I start to go from script to drawing, it's almost I have this intuition that's saying, yeah, forget whatever you just wrote, it doesn't matter. You just start drawing this and then add this and then just see how it goes. And I start freaking out because it's completely off script and I already did my job here and I already hit all the points of the plot that I needed to plot to hit in this particular time of the story. And now I feel wrong about it. I'm not sure if it makes any sense, but so I have this problem with the scene that I'm currently doing. Actually, I don't have this problem anymore. I just solved it. I just finished this scene, but it's just too fresh to talk about. So I will talk about the scene I had before. So I had this previous scene on the script. There was just one character in the scene. My main character was the only character in the scene. It was a very silent scene where she goes and figures everything out. I had actions planned out in my writing, and you would think it's a perfect scene for a comic because I can visually show everything and it's gonna be just fine. But then as I started drawing, I just got this feeling, intuition in my head saying, no, that's wrong, no, don't do it, don't put this here, don't draw this, don't follow your script here. And I was confused. I was not sure what to do. I was struggling and trying to force the writing into there, and in the end, what ended up happening, I just said whatever and started following my intuition and completely went off script and just started just drawing what I felt like should be happening. Like I was literally going page to page. I would draw a page, then I would look at it and will be like waiting for this knowledge to happen, what's gonna happen on the next page. And when I get this knowledge, I draw the next page. And then the same, I look at it, I read 3 pages before, I have this feeling like, yeah, and then this happens. And it's weird. And then from page to page, like the story only reveals itself to me with every single page. And every time I try to be like, oh, that's where this line from the script can come in, or my plan from the script can come in. And every time I had a feeling like, no, we don't need it here. I feel wrong. I feel my intuition is telling, don't do this. It's just not right. And it just actually happens. I have several characters, several narrators in my story, and writing them is different. For some of them, a process of writing them is one way. For another, it's completely different. For example, this problem always happens with my main character. Like, no, I have several main characters, but like the main narrator character, I can never know her ahead of time. I can plan and I can write and it never works. And her chapters seem to be this go with the flow, go with the intuition sort of thing. And it's always weird because it's scary because her story is so important for the plot and I'm afraid to go off script because I started freaking out. Is the whole plot gonna work now or not? Like, because I don't know what we're doing here. Like, I'm going with intuition because my intuition tells me to, but like, are we gonna hit these important plot points though? Like, what about them? Like, it's important. But every time it seems to work out, and just what happens, just the story tells itself in a different way that I originally planned. So that's the weird situation that I'm having with one character that I have. The story, just the script to drawing part will just not happen. I will have to almost draw it again, or I need to find out what the story is trying to tell as I'm drawing page to page. So, and I'm actually gonna put some clips of me struggling with this drawing because I will be drawing and then erasing, drawing and erasing because I still would try to push the script that I originally wrote and it wouldn't work. And in the end, it all works out just fine. It might be that I'm never said the words on put the names that I put in the script originally, but I definitely transitioned the points that I needed. Or sometimes I would put points of the plot that I thought will happen later on and cut and save for later the ones I thought need to be brought out now. I'm not sure what's going on with this. As you can see, this video is really non-structured, but I just thought I'm gonna share this weird thing that is happening. It's almost like a diary of my process, and it's just very strange. It's almost like my intuition is taking over and I cannot just force my original plan on it because I just feel like it's wrong. In the end of the day, I just go at night to sleep and I feel unsatisfied and I feel like something is not right, that the story is not clicking, that it's not like the story is not clicking. I'm like, just don't do it. Just the feeling of don't do it this way, redo it, go with the intuition instead, don't follow the plot, don't force it. I don't know. That's just weird. I thought I'd just make this a little bit rambly, odd video of just talking about my process and what's happening, because I thought I'm giving you a lot of structural advices here, but my process is still not perfect and there is a weird things in my process that I don't know. It's almost like I'm getting to know my process in certain aspects, and I thought I'd share this process of discovering process with you. And that's basically the point of this video. I'm not sure. I don't know, guys. Let me know what you think about videos like this, because I want to be helpful to you, and that's why I'm trying to structure my videos and actually give you points. But sometimes I really just pondering about process of comic creation, some aspects of it, and sometimes I want to talk about it. So let me know what you think about me just talking about those things and just sharing like behind the scenes diaries, my own thoughts and reflections with you. Thank you so much for watching. Let me know if you have similar problems in your creation process, no matter if you're creating comic or book or any other sort of art. And I hope you guys are gonna have a good day, and I hope to see you in my next video. Thank you so much for watching. Bye.